should have known something was wrong the second my mother called me sweetheart. She only used that word when she needed something, money mostly. But when she asked if I could drop by this weekend, her voice had a softness that didn't belong to her. It sat wrong in my chest like a swallowed shard of glass. I showed up anyway. My sister, Brielle, was already there, leaning against the doorway like she owned the place. Her nails were freshly done, long and sharp enough to slice air. I didn't think much of it, until she stepped aside and said, "Mom wants to talk to you in the dining room." Her smirk told me everything I needed to know. Whatever this was, I wasn't going to like it. Mom sat at the table sipping tea like a queen, wearing earrings she couldn't afford the last time I asked her to pay me back for the loan she forgot to return. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video. She didn't even look up. "You owe your family more than you think," she said, tapping her spoon against the mug. "What's that supposed to mean?" I asked. Brielle giggled. "She means you're selfish." I ignored her. "Just tell me why I'm here." Mom finally raised her eyes. "You have savings," she said. "A good amount." My chest tightened. "Yeah, for emergencies. For my future." "Why?" Mom leaned back, her smile cold. "Your sister needs it more. She's planning a life, a marriage, a career. You just work." I laughed because the alternative was screaming. "Absolutely not." Mom didn't flinch. "Then you're of no use to this family." I walked out. I thought that was the end of it. I thought they would sulk, gossip, trash me to relatives. Usual routine. I didn't know they had already crossed a line I never imagined they were capable of. 3 days later, I went to withdraw money for rent. My card declined. I tried again. Declined. My stomach knotted. I walked inside the bank, heart thumping, and told the teller something was wrong. She typed, frowned, typed again, and then looked at me with this strange mix of pity and confusion. I need to check something. Please wait here." She disappeared. 2 other employees whispered behind a frosted glass door, their silhouettes moving fast. A manager came out with a thick folder like she was approaching a ghost. "Miss Parker, we were told you passed away." My brain blanked. "What?" The manager cleared her throat. "A woman claiming to be your mother came in 5 days ago. She said you had died suddenly. She was very emotional. She told us she needed access to your savings to cover funeral expenses." I felt the room tilt. "But you didn't give it to her, right?" No, she said quickly. "We froze the account. Standard procedure when someone reports a death." I exhaled slowly, my skin buzzing with rage. "She even brought your sister." The manager continued. "She said they needed the money immediately." My ears rang. They were going to take everything, my emergency fund, my future, the money I lived month to month protecting. I walked out of the bank trembling, not from fear, but from clarity. They wanted me dead? Fine. I could play along. And the next morning, I didn't answer their calls, or texts, or the fake "Are you okay?" voicemail Mom left with crocodile tears dripping through her throat. I disappeared. Not from life, from them. I turned off my phone, stayed with a coworker, laid low, listened, waited. My mother, apparently, began telling neighbors I was in a dark place and not stable. She said she was worried, but her eyes were dry in every picture people sent me. Brielle posted selfies with captions like, "Life works out when you deserve it." They weren't grieving, they were celebrating. Days passed, weeks. Their guard lowered. Their gossip got bold again. I heard it through cousins, co-workers, even a cashier from the nearby store. Her mother said she's gone. Shame, she was the responsible one. At least the younger daughter is getting her life together now. And then, the final straw. My aunt accidentally messaged me, "Your mom said the bank might release your funds next month." My blood went still. They were waiting for the money, waiting for my funeral payout that never existed, waiting for my account to be released because the dead don't need cash. They wanted me buried financially and socially, permanently. So I made a decision. If they wanted a ghost, I'd give them one. Then I'd come back, not quietly, not softly, not spiritually, not forgiving, loud, real, alive, and holding the truth in my hand. I didn't realize how quickly rumors spread until people began treating me like a ghost who owed them peace. My coworker Jenna came to my room one night with wide eyes. "You won't believe this," she said, dropping her phone into my lap. "Your sister posted a tribute." "A tribute?" "Yeah, like a memorial. About you." My hands shook as I unlocked her screen. There it was, Brielle posing in front of a mirror in one of her designer tops, fake sad face, captioned, "Life is short, hug your siblings. Miss you, sis." I stared at it until the words blurred. She hadn't hugged me in years. She hadn't spoken to me without rolling her eyes. And now she wanted sympathy points from strangers? The comments made bile rise in my throat. "So sorry for your loss." "She's in a better place now." "You're so strong, sweetheart." "You deserve all the blessings coming your way." And then the one that snapped something inside me. "Your mom must be devastated." Devastated? My mother? Right now, she was probably pacing her kitchen, calculating how soon the bank would release my savings. She wasn't mourning. She was waiting for the cashier's check. I dug my nails into my palms until my skin burned. "They're celebrating," I whispered. Jenna nodded slowly. "It's disgusting." "They tried to steal everything I worked for. And they still will," she said, "if you don't hit back." That night, I couldn't sleep. Every memory of every insult, every dismissal, every time Mom told me Brielle deserved better, played in an endless loop. The night she told me I cost the family too much. The day she told relatives that I was average, while Brielle was special. My chest tightened until breathing hurt. I wasn't just written off. I was erased by my own family. The next week, I did what I knew would tell me everything I needed. I went back to the bank. Not as myself. As the dead girl. I wore a hoodie, kept my head low, and stood in line while a man ahead of me chatted with the teller. Then I heard my mother's name. Teller. "Yes, Mrs. Parker was in again today asking about the status." Man. "Isn't she the one who lost her daughter?" Teller. "That's what she said." That's what she said. Not, "That's what happened." Not, "That's what the documents show." Just the lie, passed around like cheap candy. I waited until the teller looked up and called, "Next?" I stepped forward and said quietly, "I need to check my account status." She began typing, then froze. Her eyes flicked to me, then to the file on screen, then back to me like she had seen a ghost walk in. "Miss Parker, according to our system." "I know what your system says," I cut in softly. "I'm alive, and I need information." She swallowed. I'll get the manager." The manager appeared, stiff and nervous. She looked me up and down like she was afraid touching me might break some rule of the universe. "Your mother told us—" "I know what my mother told you," I said. "I want to know everything she asked for." She hesitated. She wanted access to the account. "And my sister?" "She accompanied her. She said you wanted her to have whatever was left." I felt heat flood my face. "So my mother brought my sister to vouch for the lie?" "Yes, they said your death was sudden." I laughed. It wasn't a happy sound. It was a sound that made the manager step back slightly. "I see," I said. "Freeze the account permanently. Put an alert on it. No one touches anything except me." "Of course," she said quickly. "We'll revoke any pending requests." "And," I added, "I'll need a printed statement." "A statement?" "Yes, every detail of what my mother and sister tried to do." She blinked. "You want a record?" "You bet I do." She printed it. I folded it. I put it in my jacket pocket. This wasn't for the police. This wasn't for legal battles. This wasn't some courtroom story. This was for them. And this was just the beginning. 3 nights later, my aunt held a family dinner, one of her mandatory ones where everyone pretended we didn't hate each other, which meant my mother and sister would be there, which meant I would too. I arrived 20 minutes after dinner started. The house was bright with warm lights and laughter that never included me. I walked straight in without knocking. The room went dead silent. Brielle dropped her fork. Mom's face turned white, then gray, then a shade I had never seen on her before. My aunt gasped. "Honey, are you— but your mother said—" "Yes," I said, stepping further in. "My mother did say." Mom stood up so fast her chair screeched. "Where have you been?" she hissed. "Do you have any idea—" "You told the bank I was dead." The room froze again. My aunt covered her mouth. "She did what?" Mom laughed weakly. "It was a misunderstanding." I pulled out the papers, the bank's printed statement. I tossed them onto the table. "It wasn't a misunderstanding," I said. "It was a performance. A good one, too. Tears, drama, your grieving mother voice. You even dragged Brielle along as backup." Brielle's face flushed. "You weren't answering your phone. Mom was worried." I stared at her. "Worried you wouldn't get my money, you mean?" My aunt grabbed the papers, skimmed them, and her jaw clenched so hard I heard a crack. "You reported her dead? For money?" Mom snapped. "She owes us. She's ungrateful. She hoards her money like a rat." "It's my savings," I said. "For my life, my future." "You don't have a future," Mom spat. "Your sister does." And there it was, the real reason, the real truth, not grief, not concern, just favoritism sharpened into cruelty. I looked right at my mother. "You wanted me gone so Brielle could shine?" She didn't blink. "Some children are born to give," she said. "Others are born to take." "And which one am I?" I asked calmly. Mom didn't hesitate. "You? You were born to be replaced." Something in me snapped clean in half, and for the first time in my life, the fear I carried around like a second spine broke too. They wanted a ghost? They got one. They wanted me gone? Now they were going to learn what gone actually felt like. And the revenge that was forming wasn't poetic. It wasn't quiet. It wasn't symbolic. It was real. And it was coming next. Mom's face was twisted, lips tight, eyes darting around the room like she was checking for exits. Brielle's hands shook on her lap, her fake nails tapping the plate as if she could scratch her way out of this moment. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't threaten. I didn't cry. I simply reached into my jacket and placed a small black envelope on the table. "This," I said, "is everything you tried to take. Every signature you forged. Every lie you told the bank. Every date. Every time. Every request you filed pretending I was dead." Mom lunged for it, but my aunt grabbed her wrist mid-air. "Sit down, Linda," my aunt snapped, and the whole table flinched. "You aren't taking anything else from that girl." Mom's jaw clenched. "That's my daughter." "No," my aunt said. "You don't get to choose when she's your daughter." I held up a second envelope. "This one," I said, "is for the bank. Sealed, with my signature. They know exactly what you did. They know you pretended I was dead. Your little stunt might have worked. If I stayed gone." Brielle's voice cracked. What does that mean?" "It means," I said, folding my arms, "your access to anything of mine is permanently blocked. My account is frozen from your names. You can't touch a cent of it. Ever." Mom's face went red, then purple. You ungrateful brat. After everything I've done for you." "Done for me?" I laughed once without humor. "You mean stealing from me? Choosing Brielle every time? Telling people I was dead because you wanted my savings?" My aunt stood up beside me. She wasn't tall, but she felt like a wall. "You're not welcome in this house anymore," she said to my mother. "And neither is Brielle," she added. Brielle gasped. "What? Why me?" "Because you helped her, and because you pretended to mourn a sister you didn't care enough to call." The room went dead silent. Mom sputtered. "You can't kick us out." "I just did," my aunt said. "Get up. Go." Mom looked at me like she was waiting for me to stop all this, but I didn't. "You wanted a world without me," I said quietly. "So go live in it." My mother stood slowly, clutching her purse as if it could protect her pride. Brielle followed behind her, shaking, wiping her fake mascara tears. Mom paused at the doorway. "You'll regret this," she hissed. "No," I said. "You will." And then I turned away. Not dramatically, not poetically, just done. For weeks afterward, I heard bits and pieces. Mom tried going back to the bank. They shut her out instantly. She tried arguing with my aunt. My aunt didn't pick up. She tried calling me 20 times in one day. I didn't answer. Not revenge, just boundaries. Real ones, the kind they never expected me to have. One afternoon, I saw Brielle outside my apartment building hugging herself against the cold. She whispered, "Mom said you'd tell the police." I didn't. Why not? Because, I said, losing access to my life was what you wanted. Losing access to yours is the consequence. She swallowed hard. Are we done as sisters? You made that choice when you stood in the bank pretending I was dead, I said. So, yes, we're done. She wiped her eyes and walked off slowly, like she didn't know where to go next. I stood there, breathing in the cold air, realizing something heavy and simple. I didn't need them to lose everything. I just needed them out of my life. And for the first time, the quiet didn't feel like punishment. It felt like space. Space that finally belonged to me, and I wasn't giving it back. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video.